Good morning, good morning, good morning. We're going to begin with pranayama today. So you want to be seated comfortably, seated tall. Have your Kleenex handy. Just do a little quick check. Breathe through the right nostril and out through the right nostril. Good. Try that on the other side. Because I think sometimes it's really surprising and we find out that we're quite congested. So if you're congested, take a moment just to clean your nostrils. We'll begin with our Nadi Shodhana, alternate nostril breath, in and out, in through the left, out through the right, in through the right, out through the left, and then just keep on with that. And I'd like to do 3 minutes. And I'm telling you how long, just because some people think, oh, this feels like it's lasting forever. So I just like to let you know it's going to be 3 minutes. And if you're feeling like if it makes you dizzy or nauseous, don't do it. But if you've been practicing an alternate nostril breath for a long time and you've kind of got it down, add the ujjayi breath, the ocean sounding breath, just to see how that feels. And we'll start off and just start, and then you can begin to slowly deepen and lengthen. So it takes so many more counts to get to the top of the breath and so many more counts to get to the bottom of the breath. So we begin by sitting tall, find the peace fingers, and then bring the peace fingers in. And of course, if you have arthritis in your hands and this fancy Vishnu mudra doesn't work for you, you can just do thumb, 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 thumb as well. Take the thumb to the right nostril, and I'm going to begin the timer now. Inhale through the left. Close the left, exhale right. Inhale right. Exhale left. Inhale left. Close, exhale right. Inhale right. Close, exhale left, and go at your own pace. So yes, definitely deepening the breath, slowing it down. But if that feels like just a big strain, then breathe, just do the alternate nostril breath without trying to deepen and lengthen it. And if it's comfortable to go into the ocean sounding breath at the same time as your alternate nostril breath, then do so. And the right arm kind of stays up and out to the side, and the posture feels really strong and stable. Soft gaze. You're not hunched over to the right or anything like that. But you're relaxed. And with this last minute to go now, pay attention to the sound of your breath. Pay attention to the length, the duration, the speed of the breath. And even pay attention to, are you expanding as you breathe in? Do you feel the belly lift, the rib cage expand, and the chest rise? The back body too. The rib cage expands as well. And then time it. See how long you can make your exhalation. You can go 1,000, 2,000, 3,000. See if you can lengthen that exhalation even more, and just notice how many counts it is. And then on the next exhalation through the left nostril, because that's where we began, release your hands. You can drop your hands into your lap, lift the chest up, close your eyes. And as you breathe in and out through both nostrils, notice if there's any scent. Notice the flaring of the nostrils. Maybe you can even feel that after them being squished. Notice how your body feels today, physically, mentally. Check in as well, check in energetically. Are you feeling like jumping jacks? So we notice without judgment, we notice without creating stories. What is, just noticing. And then bring your hands to your knees as if you're going to draw yourself up even higher. And take a moment, just look down at your hips and just, if you ever come to yoga practice and it feels like sitting cross-legged is killing you, then don't try and sit cross-legged. Put one leg out. And it might be that some days you come to yoga practice and you need to put both legs out. So notice your sit, your seated position. It should be comfortable. But we're going to place the hands on the knees, draw the chest up, and drop the chin down. Press the chin to the chest, and drag it side to side with a little peek over both shoulders. So noticing and feeling and listening to the sound of your breath still. I may let that Ujjayi breath go because I'm talking, but anytime you remember, go back to that Ujjayi breath. Bring the chin up towards the ceiling. Drop into a back bend here. Pull with the hands against the knees. Arch the spine, lift the chest. Feel the whole front of the throat wake up. And then release. Drop the right ear to the shoulder. And then the left. Try that again. Notice if there's any sounds. And then turn your head side to side. And there's our first twist. How does that little twist? It's not much of a twist, right? But a little looking over one shoulder and then the other. And it's all about noticing. Let's move right into a lateral extension of the spine with the right hand coming up and the left hand walking out. Press the right sit bone into the mat. And now reach, shoot that right hand over. Bring the right shoulder blade back. Look up. See, maybe the left hand wants to walk out a little further. Do a check-in. And remember, you're going to decide, flex the fingers on the right hand, rotate the wrist. You're going to decide if you want to have a gentle practice or a vigorous practice today, meaning that, you are your own boss. Move in ways that are wise and supportive for you. Micro movements are great. You can turn your head side to side here. Micro movements that come up are usually really intuitive and beneficial. Let's come back up. Whew. And breathe. And then left hand's going to come up. Walk your right hand out. Press the left sit bone back. Reach with the left hand, but not caving in on the right side. So really think about the lengthening that's happening. Rib cage, maybe underneath the arm. Where do you feel it? Wiggle the fingers, the left hand. Rotate the wrists. Turn your head side to side. Keep pressing the right hand into the mat so that you can press the left sit bone back. So there's effort involved here, not just stretch. And you can see if you can walk the right hand out even further and maybe drop down onto the elbow. And then let's come back up. Whew. And notice. Rotate, roll the shoulders. And then rotate the other way. So it's the noticing and it's the breathing that makes this into our yoga practice. Otherwise, if we wanted to stretch, we could just put ourselves on some kind of homemade rack and stretch, you know, and set the tools so we're reaching over that way and we can hold for 3 minutes and reaching over that way and hold for 3 minutes. It's the moving with the paying attention and the breath. So let's do the twist with the spinal twist. Straighten the legs out and notice how that feels from sitting maybe cross-legged for 10 minutes. Maybe you've been cross-legged. Bring your right leg up over your left. You can have the left leg straight or tuck the right foot underneath. And locate the sit bones again. Make sure that they're planted. Bring your left hand and hug the knee in. Take the right hand, scoop the belly over. Inhale the left hand up. Exhale, reach around behind you. Drop the hand right on the floor or maybe on a block behind you. And first think about maybe a cord attached to the crown of the head drawing you up. So you're really tall, and now turn your head and look over the right shoulder. Chest is still lifted. Listen to the sound of your breath. Inhale the right hand up, exhale all the way around. Bring both hands onto the floor on the left side. Come up, turn, peek over the left shoulder, and release. Whew. And shake it out. Bring the left foot in, up and over your right. Flex the heel if you keep that right leg straight. Otherwise, you could tuck the leg underneath. Right arm hugs the knees in. Scoop the belly over. Inhale the left hand up. And exhale. Reach around behind you. Lengthen. Deepen the twist. And then see if there's a way of relaxing into the twist. And if you feel like you're rounding this back and sort of hunched over, straighten up. So you're tall and then twisting. And release. Bring both hands over onto the right side. Come up. Peek over the right shoulder. Feeling like you're really unwinding. And then come on into table and shake out the legs. Both legs, a nice little shake. Shake, 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 shake. Shake it all about. And then from table, curl your toes under, lift your hips up and back, stretch out the legs now with our downward dog. So we're stretching out the legs, but bring your mind's eye just for a moment to the feet
And think about how can you stretch the feet out here? Can you come right onto the tips of the toes, or can you lift the toes up when the heels are on the mat? What can you do to bring awareness to the arch of the foot and the ball of the foot and the heel? And then turn your head side to side. And drop your knees back down on the mat. Lift the feet up off the mat and circle the feet. So you're back on your hands and your knees. You're just connecting to the ankles with your mind's eye. There's a great saying, where your mind goes, prana flows. And sometimes I forget about that, but if you bring all of your attention to a place in your body, or maybe to a problem, or just to a something, that's where the energy flows. And so a little heel toe here. Notice how your knees feel on the mat. Do you feel like you need two mats? Do you feel like you want to put your blanket underneath your knees? Take a moment to do so if that's the case. So coming back into table, tuck the tailbone under. Now feel the sacrum tucking. Readjust the hands so they're right underneath the shoulders. Eventually that lower back comes up, or that mid back comes up, and you drop the chin. See if you can press the chin right into the chest. Stay right here just for a moment and breathe. And notice if the breathing feels constricted, or if you can breathe like right here. So we're going to pause here, bring your mind's eye to the tailbone, and starting at the tailbone, start with the tilt. And of course the sacrum follows, and then the lower lumbar spine, and then the mid back. So it's a really slow process, as if you wanted to move vertebrae by vertebrae. You end up flaring the hips and lifting the chin. Hold here and breathe. So think about three-part yogic breathing here. And then go back and forth with the tuck and the tilt, the rounding, the arching. And if you tend to breathe on the rounding and exhale on the arching, notice that. And then switch it. So whatever you notice that you're doing and how it feels, then switch the breath and see what happens. Come all the way back to table. Open the knees a little wider. Reach the hands towards the front of your mat. Drop down onto the forearms and forehead on the mat. Bring the hips back. Feel that nice stretch underneath the arms. You could stay here in this is an Anahatanasana or puppy pose. So you can stay here or wiggle back until the hips are sitting on the heels. And that may or may not work depending on your feet, your ankles, your knees, and your hips. So when you breathe here, can you feel your belly expand? We've got our knees wide, so hopefully the belly's coming between the legs. So you might feel the belly expand, but see if you can feel the rib cage expand as well. And the back body, the back, the rib cage, and the side body, the side of the ribs. Bring your awareness to where you feel like you're moving as you breathe in and out. You might draw that breath in and not just feel the belly and the lower back, but right up to the armpit area and the back body expand as you breathe in. Think of that diaphragm, like a big balloon filling with air. And we want to be as slow as possible with the inhale and the exhale, and maybe a soft ujjayi breath so that you could hear it. Let's come back to table. And then walk your hands up, and we'll move into camel, but a supported camel with a back bend. So you can have your toes curled under or your feet like flat on the floor. Sometimes when people get into Camel, they get stuck and they can't get back up. So let me just demonstrate quick. So if you're in Camel and you're feeling really stuck, you can't get back up, reach up, imagine there's a hook, grab it, and that it works all the time to help you get back up. Inhale the hands forward. Exhale all the way around. Beautiful supported Camel. The hands are on the sacrum, and then we press the hips forward, lift the chest up. You could have choices with the neck, chin tucked, or look up, or drop back with the head. And then come back up, any which way that works for you. We'll do it again. This time I'll demonstrate without the support. Without the support, we bring our hands around, place the hands on the heels, and lift up. And sometimes, give it a try now. One hand to one heel, one hand to the other heel. Sometimes it's really awkward and too strenuous, and if that, or just doesn't feel safe, that's you, then you're gonna have your hands on your sacrum instead. So pay attention and listen to your instincts. Inhale the hands forward, exhale, reach around behind you, drop back, hands on the heels, press the hips forward, lift the chest up. And then reach up, grab hold of that imaginary hook, and bring your hands forward, and we'll stretch it out in our downward dog. Reach the hips back, keep the knees bent, press down with the fingertips, open the shoulders, keep reaching back, and then press the heels towards the mat. Turn your head side to side. And then release. So we're going to do a strengthening pose that's strengthening for the shoulders and the arms. And for the life of me, I can't remember the name of it right now because we haven't done it for a while. So let me demonstrate it first, and then we'll do it together. Dolphin. It's called Dolphin. You come onto the hands, and then look where the hands are, and drop the elbows, and then you take your hands, clasp them together, curl the toes under, lift up and back. So here we are here. This is really nice because there's absolutely no weight on the wrists. So, you know, for people that have a problem with plank because of the wrists, this is like a great alternative. So you come back and forward, drop the nose down, and then back up. So if you have a shoulder issue, if this doesn't work for you, then you can come into plank instead, or just a variation. So give it a try. Start from table, elbows go where the hands were, clasp the hands together, curl the toes under, lift up and back, and move with your breath. So when you come down, you might wiggle the toes back so it feels more like a plank. And it might be that your nose isn't coming anywhere near the mat. It doesn't matter, just going back and forth is still nice strengthening for your arms, for the shoulders, for the core. I can feel my core working. Drop the knees down and come all the way back up again. This, I feel like we haven't done that for a really long time, but it's a good one. It's a really good one. So anytime you do plank and then you have compromised wrists, that's a great option. But we're going to do a modified plank right now. So modified plank, we're going to start, so I'll demonstrate. We're going to come onto the belly, put the elbows underneath the hands, elbows underneath the shoulders, palms down, curl the toes under, and then lift. So a modified plank. Again, nothing to do with wrists. Curl the toes under, lift your body up, press back with the heels, crown of the head reaches forward, Draw the navel up, squeeze the pelvic floor in, and then drop your knees down, drop your hips down. So if that felt super challenging, open the elbows just a little wider to see if that would help. Curl the toes under, come up and back again, pressing back with the heels. And release down. And then let's come up into table again. And so notice it is a core thing. We're going to shift our weight into the right leg though. We're shifting gears. Straighten the left leg out behind you. Shift your weight into your left hand and reach forward with the right hand for Sunbird. And we're not looking for height here. We're thinking more of being parallel to our mats. Gauge the pelvic floor. Release the right hand down. Bring the left leg out to the side and see if you can bring it up so that it's the same thing, parallel right out to the side. Flex the heels. Good. Now bend the knees and circle the left knee. We often do this on our back, circling the knees, or we do it with the chair yoga practice. This is called fire hydrant. So we circle the knee and breathe. Go the other way. See if you can make your exhalations a bit longer. So you were counting your exhalation before. Do it again. See if you can keep that exhalation really long. And then see if you can make the circles even larger. So a little bit harder than clamshells. And release. Come up. Give your left hip a little Swedish massage. And we'll try that on the other side. Maybe give your hands a little shake. You could do this on your forearms as well and on your fists. And you could also do it on your back if for some reason it's not right for you on your knees. Well, you can't really do Sunbird on your back. Reach out with the right leg, shift your weight into your right hand, bring the left hand forward, reach back. At the same time as you're reaching forward, at the same time as you're drawing your navel up and engaging the pelvic floor in. Release the left leg down, or the left arm down. Bring your right foot out to the side. Lift the leg up so that it's parallel to the mat, and then bend the knee and circle the right knee. And remember, if this doesn't work for your knees, it doesn't work for your wrists, just come onto your back and circle your knees. go the other way. So again, super slow breath. And release. And then come up. Give yourself a Swedish massage again. And it's really nice to check in to our core strength, I think. So we're going to go back to plank, this time on the hands. But now you know, you could be on your forearms too. So we'll go from plank into a side plank. Coming into table, walk the feet out behind you until you're up in your plank. Feet are about hip width apart, hands are about shoulder width apart. Press back with the heels. Draw the navel up. Strong Ujjayi breath helps with balance, it helps with concentration. I think it helps with strength. We don't need to stay here forever. Just a couple of breaths is good. Let's roll onto the outside edge of the left foot. And then you could take your right foot in front of you, foot on the mat. Or you take the foot and the right foot and stack it on top of the left leg. And then slowly lift the right leg up. The left hip wants to drop down. See if you can keep it up. Release the right hand down, come back into plank, roll onto the outside edge of the right foot. You could stack the left foot on top, or you can drop that left foot in front of the right leg. Release down, drop your knees down. This time you can extend back with the knees together into a puppy pose, so your hips are up in the air, or wiggle all the way back into an extended child pose with the hips sitting on the feet. So I think it's really interesting observing the breath when the whole front of the body, the belly and everything is compressed. What you might notice is the movement in the back, the rib cage, right underneath the armpit area, mid back. So noticing that breath. And come up nice and slow. And then we're going to work our way all the way around and back into a seated position and roll down onto our backs. So you can come down, hug the knees to the chest, and rock from side to side. And as you rock from side to side, think of this as your massage time. In case you haven't had a massage lately, here's your whole body weight rippling across your back. And while you're doing this, add some face yoga. Squeeze, contract all the muscles of the face. Open wide. And then come back to center with your hands on your knees now. Circle the knees, bringing all your awareness to how you are circling around your sacrum area. And then circle the other way. And bring the knees in a little closer, bring the bottoms of the feet together, reach up, grab hold of the ankles or the feet, draw the heels down, press away with the knees, hold and breathe. Relax the eyes, the cheeks, the jaw. Notice if you like to have a little roll underneath the neck or any kind of support. And then rock again, side to side. Come back to center. We'll move into happy baby. Bottoms of the feet face up, knees are splayed out to the side, drawing in towards the mat. So with all the holding that's going on, and maybe the intensity around the groin or wherever you feel it, see if you could move through your body now and relax everything. You'll get to certain points and you realize, well, no, there's work involved there, or compression. You can't really relax it. See if you could relax around it and stay with your slow breath. And now open the legs as wide as you can, as if you were doing a wide-legged forward fold, but we're not folding forward, we're just opening the legs out to the side. You can hold on to the ankles or behind the knees, or maybe you want to hold on to the big toes. So long holds, slow breaths. Allow for, your inner gaze to get even deeper, locating muscles and sinew and tissue and tendon. What can you let go of? See if you're tensing up around the holding. So that when you slow things down, you tend to get more introspective, more mindful, more present. Bring the legs together and tuck them back in towards the chest. We're going to move into our yoga bicycles. Remember, what makes them yoga bicycles is the ha breath and the attention on keeping the pelvic floor engaged. So if you have lower back issues, place your hands underneath your hips, and then you're going to keep your head on the mat. Otherwise, you could clasp the hands behind the head and lift the head and shoulders up off the mat. Gauge the pelvic floor and begin. And release, pat the belly. So this next round of 30, if you normally just press your feet out, this time imagine you're bicycling. If you always bicycle, this time just press your feet out. So change it up a little bit. Draw your knees back in, and you could slow it down if you're looking for more work. Hands behind the head or underneath the hips. Inhale and begin. release. And tap it out. Ha. Let's try one more. This time, knees in, gauge the pelvic floor. If you want more work, opposite elbow to opposite knee, or just change up, bicycle backwards instead of forward. Change it up, teach your habits. Inhale and begin. And release, top it out, walk the feet to the outside edge of your mat, drop the knees to the left. And then bring your arms out to T. Turn your head, look over at the right arm. Full deep breath in and out. You can stay right here. If you want a little deeper stretch today, take your left foot, rest it on top of the right knee. If that feels like too much of a deep stretch for you, put the foot back on the mat. If you want to bring that stretch right up through the waistline, up towards the armpit area, reach the arms straight up behind you and then relax them completely. Relax the shoulders. You might want to grab hold of the hands or opposite elbows. Release the left leg, bring the legs back up, walk the feet to the outside edge of the mat once again, and then drop the knees to the right. Keep it slow, just paying attention. One side's always slightly different than the other side, or often is. You can turn, look towards the left now, and then decide, is this exactly where you want to be? Feels perfect. Great stretch. Or do you want the deeper stretch? I think a little more effort, but you could take that right foot, place it on top of the left knee. If that feels like too much today, then release the right foot. If you are always an overachiever, self-described overachiever, then ease off. Be a little less today, which is sometimes more. You don't always have to go to the maximum amount of stress or stretch. And then that allows you to fully breathe in and out and completely relax, or hopefully relax more into the stretch than if you're at your edge, almost gasping. See if you can name any of the muscle groups that are stretching. And then release the right foot. Bring the knees back up. Straighten the legs out. Reach up behind you. Flex the heels away as if you're trying to get taller and you're standing. Flex the fingers wide open so that you could feel the webs between each and every finger. And relax the shoulders. Open the feet a little wider. Let the feet splay out to the side. Hold and breathe. And see where in your body you could relax here. Where is there holding? Just lying flat on your back. You can keep your arms overhead, but bring your legs in for Supta Baddha Konasana. So we bend the knees, feet are on the mat behind the hips. Lift your hips up off the mat, bring them a little closer to the heels. Walk the feet together and let the knees splay out to the side. For extra support, you could put your blocks underneath the thighs or knees. Notice if you want, the neck roll or an eye pillow. And if it normally takes you 6 counts to breathe in and 6 counts to breathe out, see if you could stretch it out to 7. Or just add 1, whatever your normal one is. See if you could stretch it out 1 count and get to the top of the breath, hold on to the breath. Get to the bottom of the breath, hold out the breath. Reach the arms down, bring the legs back up, hug the knees into the chest once again. Let your body rock from side to side. And then from here we're going to move into banana asana. So still the legs are straight, the arms reach up overhead. Grab hold of the right wrist, reach the arms to the left, walk the feet to the left, and take the left foot up, place it right on top of the right ankle. And I'd like you to count, I'm going to start the timer in a second. I want you to count how many breaths it takes you for a minute. So you can exhale, and then start your inhale now, and I'll let you know when a minute is up, and you can see how many breaths you take in a minute. Just in banana asana, half moon. So that's exactly a minute. So just keep that in mind, how many breaths it took you to breathe in a minute. And we're going to slowly release and move right over to the other side. So release the leg, come back to center, straighten out on your mat. Take a moment just to enjoy that. Okay, now you're straight, everything's in alignment. And then grab hold of the left wrist, reach to the right, walk the feet to the right. Take the right foot up and place it on the left. that breath. At some point it becomes a strain, this slowing down of the breath and holding. If you have a short, shallow breath, you know, you can get sick from it. But if we slow it down too much, that's a strain as well. See if you can find the happy medium, slow, deep, mindful inhale and exhale. The exhale is just as important. That completely getting rid of every last bit of CO2 as we exhale, super, super important. And I'm going to stay here for one more minute. So where can you relax? What can you let go of? Release the legs, come back to center and bend the knees. Place the feet right behind the hips. Bring your arms to your side, fingertips pointing to the heels. If you have anything underneath your head, take it out. And lift the hips up. Wiggle the shoulders towards each other underneath you. Clasp the hands together or press the palms into the mat. Keep the chin tucked. Gaze directly up towards the ceiling. Lift, 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 lift. Press the knees towards the front of the mat, the chest towards the chin. And then release the hands, release the shoulders, bring the hips all the way back down. Windshield wiper the knees side to side. And we're moving into Shavasana now, so you can set yourself up, the blanket, an eye pillow. And just for perhaps the first minute or two of Shavasana, using your imagination, imagine that you're doing alternate nostril breath without your hands. So as if you're breathing in through the left nostril, exhaling through the right, inhaling through the right, exhaling through the left. So just imagine that is happening just for the next 2 minutes. This is your time to relax though, so if it feels like a strain, just breathe. Let go of any control of the breath. Just breathe
just be. Keeping your eyes closed, let your body move as if it's coming out of a 100-year sleep. Slowly, limb by limb, 100-year sleep in a small box. So stretching and moving and opening up any last little places that need to stretch and release. Nice and slow. And slowly work your way up to a seated position. And you could whisper to yourself, I am at peace. I am content. I am loved. And then we'll chant this out, Om. Take a deep breath in. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Om, peace, peace, peace. And you could bow to the light within yourself and open your eyes and shine your light. Namaste.
Namaste.